Savannah, the year before, won a ring with the Patriots, a two-time Super Bowl champ. Of course, I know his dad, Howie, so I've followed Chirs Long for a long time, and he's now joining us via the Coward Global Satellite Network. And, boy, Chirs Long I have followed you for a long, long time, and I'm a huge admirer of your father, and this is kind of a weird, dorky question, but when your dad is famous and a Hall of Famer, and he's a real smart dude, were there ever times that you know, everybody I would think would love their dad to be a Hall of Fame football player. Was it different when you were in high school, when you were in college? Chirs, was it just a different experience?
I would say to anybody wishing for that, be careful what you wish for. There's good parts and bad parts. I mean, certainly it helps to have a best friend like my dad who knows what I'm going through on a daily basis, but you're always going to be compared to him. And, you know, I'm very proud of my career, been able to be a part of a lot of great stuff, have individual success. But, you know, when you got a dad who has a gold jacket, it's hard to compete with that. That's why I'm holding on to these 2 Super Bowl rings. He only has 1. So, but he's awesome about it. There's always been pressure. It's made me better. But at the end of the day, you'll always be compared to him.
Yeah. You know, we're talking about Gronk getting out of the game. I want to ask you a serious question. You're a guy that's socially aware, and you've given up your salary. And how do you reconcile, because football is a business, and the ratings are down, and some, I'm not sure this is true, Chirs, but I'll just throw it out there, some believe that the kneeling has hurt ratings. It didn't bother me, but there's a lot of military people that connected it. How do you reconcile that what you do is empowering players, but it may be bad for your business?
Well, at the end of the day, we're lucky to play this game. It starts with the fans. They do support us, you know, greatly. I think America is a mixed bag as far as political opinions, social opinions, and our fan base is no different. So while there are a lot of studies that show that the ratings are down, I would say a lot of people are having more fun watching football than ever. But at the end of the day, I think what you're seeing is a bunch of guys that care more about their social conscience or standing up for the things they believe in, you know, over the ratings and over the bottom dollar. So, you know, it's funny, as athletes, people always tell us to play for the love of the game, follow your heart, you know, improve your communities. And when certain guys try to do that in a certain not so cookie cutter way, all of a sudden it's, hey, what about the bottom line? What about your paycheck? It's going to shrink. Well, don't you want us not to care so much about the money? You know, for me, I know I've been very lucky to make a lot of money playing ball, but I would always like to follow my heart and improve my community in the best way I know how. And guys are following their hearts. And, you know, the kneeling thing, it's been contentious, and I get it. I mean, ideally, that's not what we want. But there's guys that feel like that's the best way to start a conversation that this country needs. So I would say as far as starting the conversation, it's been mission accomplished. Now, what we do with it, do we improve our country? That's yet to be seen.
You know, it's interesting. Jimmy Garoppolo signed a huge contract the other day, and while he was with the Patriots, I kept going on the air over and over and saying, listen, I'm no expert. Okay, I didn't play in the NFL, but that looks like a franchise quarterback. He's big. He's mobile. Yeah. Belichick loves him. Some of this is inexact, as you know, Chirs. The recruiting, 5-star guys end up washing out, and 3-star guys go to Virginia Tech and become, you know, Hall of Famers. But when you were with Garoppolo for that year, was there something, Chirs, where you were saying either to your dad or your friends, this guy's the real deal? Because he wasn't playing much, Chirs. You were getting the inside. You were getting the intel. You were getting practice. We weren't.
I called him the baby goat, the Italian baby goat, IBG. He's awesome. I mean, he's a different player than Tom. You're always going to be compared to Tom. But they found 2 really amazing quarterbacks, I believe, in Tom and Jimmy, and that was a heck of a problem to have for that organization. And I think people in San Francisco are going to enjoy watching him play football for a long time. You know, when Tom couldn't join us the first 4 games of last season, you know, Jimmy came in there and really picked up the slack, you know, winning on the road at Arizona. At that point in the year, Arizona hadn't fallen off as much. They were kind of a cream of the crop team, you know, and then really before he got hurt in Miami, did an unbelievable job. I think he put up almost 30 points in the first half. He was special. You could see those flashes, and you know, it's not like seeing a college player flash excellence. You're seeing it at the pro level. Right. So I think that you'll see more to come. I mean, you saw what he did at the end of the year this year. There's going to be a lot of hope in that city for football on that team, and I think rightfully so.
You know, Chirs Long joining us. By the way, he's got pretty well established. I think people around football know this. Waterboys.org, and I'll get to that in 1 second after this question. So Lane Johnson came out, and I was giving him crap this morning because Lane Johnson comes out and says, football's fun, and those guys are a bunch of robots. And my takeaway, there's been this Tom versus Time documentary that's out there in the space now. And, I mean, Tom's really intense. Apparently, he eats and watches film. And that's pretty much his. So my takeaway is, when you hear about Brady's obsession with the sport, do you admire it, or do you kind of roll your eyes and think, get a life?
No, I admire Tom. I've made no bones about it. Tom, to me, he's the greatest. He was an amazing teammate. You know, funny story about Tom, when I first got to New England in my 9th year, and I've been a good player in this league. I wouldn't call myself a superstar by any stretch of the imagination. I'm walking into this locker room, this storied franchise, and I run into Tom in the hall, and you're kind of like, how do I handle this? Do I introduce myself? Like, what do you do? And he extends his hand. He goes, hey, Chris, I'm Tom. Nice to meet you. And I'm like, I know who the hell you are, dude. Like, you don't need to introduce yourself. I should be introducing myself to you. But that's the type of guy he is. And every day in the locker room, he would be engaging with his teammates. He worked hard. He had fun in practice. I think a lot like Coach Belichick, you only see the one side of it.
Right.
And you don't see, behind the curtain, which is, they're guys that do enjoy having some fun. I know what Lane said, and there's more than one ways to win football games in this league. I mean, that's been documented. They've had the best quarterback of all time. It's worked for them for a long time. Certainly our team in Philly works differently. But at the end of the day, there's different ways to do it, and I respect the hell out of Tom and as a teammate and a player.
The Water Boys Initiative is part of the Chirs Long Foundation, and this has been going on for several years. Combat veterans and former NFL players join Chirs, and they conquer Mount Kilimanjaro, and they raise funds when they do this for building wells in communities like East Africa, which I believe you just built your 32nd well. So what you basically do is you raise funds, you go to Mount Kilimanjaro. Now I've skied, but I've never scaled a mountain. This was a big undertaking. Was there ever a point halfway through Mount Kilimanjaro the first year you thought, what in the hell am I doing? That's quite an undertaking.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, forgive me for a long answer here, but, it started out when I contacted Nate Boyer. We've had this Water Boys thing for a few years now, and as you said, we've installed our 32nd well. We're going to have 125,000 people in East Africa being served by our solar power wells. We've raised millions of dollars with the help of many players in the league. And one guy that I really wanted to zero in on was Nate Boyer when I saw his special on ESPN, Green Beret, NFL player. I said, I don't know how I'm going to get this guy involved, but I got to call him. So I cold called him, and he said, I have an idea. Why don't we get some of our veterans out there who knows service better than our veterans, the men and women that fought for our country, that know how to serve in the third world and can inspire. And my foundation's always tried to involve veterans, so this was a great way to kind of work together. And what's cool about it is we're bringing these guys and gals over and these former NFL players. This year we got Vince Young, Steven Jackson, Tom Saney. I'm forgetting one or two. An active guy, Connor Barwin.
Sure.
We're going to climb this 19,500-foot mountain. And these men and women, some of them amputees, we had a blind man summit last year, are going to kick our ass up the mountain. And they are going to kind of inspire us and lead us. And that's the coolest thing about it is, as NFL players, we're so used to being leaders. Well, this is a thing where we can kind of sit back and be the weak ones and be the guys that are lagging behind and inspired. So we raise money. It's good for vets. It's good for players. And at the end of the day, it's my favorite thing we've been able to do off the field.
Waterboys.org. His father's a wonderful guy. And, Chris, I followed your career for several years. Good family. Thank you so much for stopping by today.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. And if you want to check out Waterboys, waterboys.org. So we got lots of good information on there. So thanks again.
You bet, Chris. Good stuff. One of the good guys. Yeah. Vince Young.
Let's go back to Mount Kilimanjaro.
Holy moly.
Oh, my. As he's saying that.
13,000 feet. Was it my bad? Was it 17,000 or 13,000?
No, I thought it was more. 19.
I get altitude sickness.
Walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we take the elevator.
The second floor here. I literally need
we
Advil.
We start being better people. But isn't that incredible? Donating
it's
his
amazing.
entire salary, what he's done. And not to mention Diane, his mother, is like one of the nicest people on the planet. That whole family is incredible. I have the privilege of working with Howie every week.
Good stuff. Coming up, a lot of NBA stuff to sort through. What to make of LeBron and what they did to the Celtics yesterday. That was either wildly amusing or you're bitter today in Boston. That coming up. I love my Casper mattress. Several years now sleeping with it. First of all, just the way they deliver it, the delivery service. In a box so small, for free shipping. In a box so small, it's hard to believe. Actually, there's a mattress inside. You don't need multiple helpers, multiple movers. Take it down the hall, put it in your bedroom. There you go. And they'll let you sleep in it for 100 nights, risk-free. What other retail business would do that? So they ship it to you for free. In a box so small, hard to believe it's a mattress. Sleep in it for 100 nights. Don't like it, they come get it, ship it out for free, give it to a charity, and give your money back. Right now they have the President's Day sale. Not only is Casper saving you from those aggressive salespeople, you'll save $125 on the purchase of over $1,250. And you'll save $200 on a purchase over $2,000. Huge savings. Casper.com. Casper.com. Terms and conditions apply.